a.m. and it is May 17th, 2022. And today we're going to have a excellent webinar about becoming an apprentice. My name is Sean Campbell, and I work with the California Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm with the CalTAP team, and just a little bit about myself and the things you're going to hear about today. You're going to get to hear from Cole, who is the local interagency network coordinator. You're going to get a chance to hear from Mr. Richards, who's going to have a lot of great information about apprenticeships and what an apprenticeship looks like and how to go through the process. And then we're going to have a really strong section on answering questions and getting some answers for people out there. Because of the nature of this webinar, we have turned off your cameras and your audio, so that way it can kind of control the bandwidth. We ask that you direct your questions towards the question and answer box. And you'll notice that my teammate Derek will be putting information, whether it be links or downloadable, some of the PDF stuff, into the chat, so that way you can reference it throughout the webinar itself. A little bit about myself. I spent 7 years in the Navy as a hospital corpsman. I got out as a E5. It was an excellent opportunity to see the world, meet new and exciting people, and get some shiny things to put on my chest. It was a really cool experience, and all of us have different types of military experiences out there. Mine was pretty fun. What is CalTAP? So a little bit about the organization that I work for. It's designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned federal and state benefits, as well as provide that continued support and assistance, because we recognize that your needs are going to change over time. And we kind of focus on 5 different pathways: core curriculum, education, employment, entrepreneurship, and we talk about the different service providers that are out there. And those 5 pathways really do give you a great opportunity to by going through our website. Those 5 pathways give you a really good opportunity to look at the different benefits that are out there for you. There's videos and there's PDFs, so you can it's 24/7 access to the information, so you can really learn at your own pace and figure out what benefits really work well for you. If you take the time to register for My CalVet on our CalVet homepage, you can also really customize some of those benefits specifically for your needs. We do ask that you provide a non-DoD email address when you're dealing with us, because we want to make sure that we're able to provide those services to you throughout. And take that moment to add CalVet to your social media webpage. We have a lot of webinars, and we do ask that you take a moment to fill out the surveys that we have, because they allow us to better engineer the types of webinars that you want to see. I talked a little bit about the CalVet webpage. Here's what it looks like. Here's one of the landing pages for our actual CalTAP program. And if you look at the bottom where it says archives, you can see it circled in yellow. That'll give you some access to our previous recorded webinars, as well as visiting our YouTube channel to get access to those previously recorded webinars. Talked about the 5 pathways, and this just is a direct link to those different 5 pathways by clicking on and activating those. What are some of the California specific benefits that are out there? There's the college tuition fee waiver for the dependents of disabled veterans. There's a veteran designation that you can get on your driver's license, which is an awesome tool to unlock a lot of benefits that you might not be aware of at different facilities. It is different from having a DD-214, but it does allow you to not have to carry all that confidential information with you. And usually the government's looking for your DD-214, and private facilities are more interested in having that veteran designation on a driver's license. Motor vehicle registration fee waiver. If you have a mobility related disability, the DMV will waive some motor vehicle registration fees when you meet that eligibility, as well as reduce hunting and fishing licenses costs. And there are special days that are set aside for hunting for disabled vets and for people on active duty and for veterans themselves. No cost state parks pass, and under certain counties, there's disabled veteran property tax exemption. There are 58 counties in California, so sometimes it can get a little exciting figuring out the different county assessors and what they offer. So we really recommend that you speak directly with the county assessor's office for the county in which you reside, as well as for the business tax and fee exemptions as well. We recommend that you look into those. If you look on the other side of this list, you can see the different divisions that are within the California Department of Veteran Affairs. The Home Loans Division, there is a VA home loan, which a lot of people have that familiarity with, and then there's a Calvet home loan. And by actually activating both of those together and using them at the same time, it really does maximize your ability to go out and purchase a home. It really changes those options for you, and the eligibility is not based on it's not based on joining the military from California. They got a lot of great eligibility requirements, so it's good to look into that. Calvet also has a women's division, a minorities division, and divisions for cemeteries when you're looking for what is your legacy going to be, and long-term care if you're entering a facet of your life where you're looking at aging and different medical options that are out there for you for the. And these long-term care facilities, there's 8 within the state of California. They are nationally recognized for their high level of care. So there's some great facilities out there. Just those benefits that you've earned. California's Veterans Resource Book. This is my teammate's going to also drop a link for you to be able to download this into the chat. This, my teammates like to call bucket of benefits. It's an excellent tool that lets you really go back and look in detail at the different benefits that are out there for you. I got out of the military 20 years ago and had no idea of the vast amount of resources that were available until I started working within this department. There's a lot of stuff out there for you, and I really encourage you to take that moment, download the book, and look at those benefits. The VA does have a great web portal, va.gov, and you can go there and look at and manage your benefits and healthcare. One of the things that we definitely recommend that you do is take that moment and log into va.gov and explore all the options that are out there for you. This is my direct contact information, and if you have questions about today, I'll put this up again as well, and some of our links to our social media site. Next up is going to be Cole, who's the local interagency network coordinator. Hello, Cole. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Sean, for having me on the webinar. You can go ahead and hit the next slide. So just a little bit of information about myself. My name is Cole. I'm an Army veteran. I was 4 years active duty, and then I've been in the reserves for the last 10 years now. And so veteran benefits, veteran information is something that's very important to me. And my position at Calvet allows me to really go out and inform veterans about what those benefits are and how they can get access to them. So as Sean mentioned, I am the local interagency network coordinator for the region of Northern California. So if you look on the map here on the screen, my region is in the orange there, the 26 northernmost counties of California. And so if you've been in California for a while, you can understand that different areas have a lot of different services available. There are for certain state and federal benefits that are statewide and nationwide, but there are also additional local benefits and nonprofit organizations that operate in certain areas that are really doing a lot of great things for veterans. So in California, Calvet has this LINK program, the Local Interagency Network Coordinator. This is a person who lives in that area, understands what benefits are available in that area, and has developed and maintained relationships with these different service providers so that they can help kind of ease the path for veterans and their family members to get access to these different benefits. So if you are not zooming in here from Northern California, there's a local link that lives somewhere in your area that is available, that is knowledgeable about the resources and benefits in your area and how to get access to them. So if you have questions about your benefits or about a service provider, or you need contact information for somebody, your link can help you out. So they have the link map here on the screen. They'll also drop the link map in the chat box if you want to download the PDF. And it's a very great resource for veterans to get access to those benefits. It's a full-time job to be aware of what's out there and how to get access to it. And so that's why we're here to help you with that. um, connecting California's veterans and their family members. Next slide, please. Some of the things we do: outreach events like this, in person, on the web, over the phone, however we can connect with veterans and their family members. We make referrals, work directly with resource providers, so those federal, state, county, and nonprofit agencies that are out there doing awesome things for veterans in California. We're helping connect veterans to those folks. And the other thing that we're doing is helping connect those great organizations to one another to make sure we're all working together to deliver the best possible services to veterans and their families. Next slide, please. Some of the folks we work with: Employment Development Department at the state level for employment is a big partner of ours. Obviously, Department of Industrial Relations is on the webinar with us today. Some of the state offices that we work with the different county veteran service offices throughout the state, other CalVet departments and divisions, and then for healthcare access, maintaining contacts at the VA medical centers, clinics, vet centers, and the Veterans Benefits Administration to help get that access to federal benefits. Next slide, please. So this is my contact information. My email address is on there. Anybody, if you are zooming in, even if you're from outside of my region, feel free to send me an email if you have a question about a particular benefit, or if you want me to direct you to your local link, I'd be happy to do that as well. Very excited to be on the webinar today. Apprenticeships are a great option for veterans seeking training for employment. So really happy to be here. I'm going to turn it back over to Sean.
Thank you so much, Cole. And it's awesome to see you again. Next coming up is Mr. Richard. Hello, sir.
Hey, good morning. How are we doing today?
We're doing great.
Good, good. I hope everyone else out there is doing well. My name again is Charles Richards. I'm a retired Sergeant Major with the United States Army after 36 years of service. I'm now currently a senior apprenticeship consultant with the state of California, under the Division of Apprenticeship Standards. So again, we're a California agency that's here to assist you and help direct you into some really good careers out there. Next slide. So today we're going to talk a little bit about apprenticeship itself and what does it contain. So to understand, I'm going to give you just a little bit of background. So the state of apprenticeship, currently we have almost 91,000 registered apprentices. That number changes on a daily basis. There's close to 36,000 participating employers with 300 active educational institutions. This could be a community college, a high school, or a county office of education, but in some way they're involved with this as one of our partners. In addition, there's approximately 8,000 apprentices graduate on a yearly basis. Next slide. So in apprenticeship, most people always think when they hear apprenticeship that it's union driven, and that's not always true. And they also think that it's only in the construction industries and occupations, and that's not true either. We actually have a lot of apprenticeship programs in various industries, and that continues to grow on a weekly basis. As you can see here on the slide, that there's healthcare programs, there's IT programs, advanced manufacturing. In addition to that, there's also civil service. We're signing up a lot of state and county and city programs are expanding into apprenticeship. Next slide. So this slide shows you a few of those companies out here that are actually starting apprenticeships within their organization. So you can see in IT, you've got Amazon, Slow Partners, Lockheed Martin. On the healthcare, Kaiser, Dignity Health, Sutter. And then within the public sector, again, the state of California, county, San Joaquin County, Yuba County, LA County. And then over on advanced manufacturing, we actually have Tesla, Ernest and Julio Gallery Winery. It's located in Lodi. And then there's also financial services. That's a big one that's kind of been taken off lately. We're expanding more and more, especially with the public sector on financial services, because they just can't find individuals that fill their need. So they're developing internally. Now, all of these programs that are out there, you may find that some of these are what's called an open program, or it may be a closed program. An open program would be a program where an individual could find that apprenticeship program on our website. If you don't see it on our website, then that means it's a closed program. You have to be an employee of that particular company first before they put you in an apprenticeship program. Like the state of California. In the state of California, to do any of these jobs, first off, you have to be an employee of the state of California. And then that particular unit or section or division has to have an apprenticeship program operating before they will put you in it. That would be the same for like IBM and Slow Partners and Lockheed Martin. You'd have to be a member or be employed by one of those companies first before they opened up an apprenticeship for you. So just keep that in mind. There's open and closed. Anything you find on our website, those are open programs that you can actually apply for directly. Next slide. So what really is apprenticeship? Apprenticeship has two main components. The first component is on-the-job training. And that's where you put your knowledge into the job, so you can increase your skills in that particular area. And then the second part of that is the classroom instruction, or as we say, that's the technical knowledge of the how-to. Next slide. So what does a classroom instruction really look like? So what we refer to that is RSI, which is related and supplemental instruction. And that gives you the theory and the background. You understand the reasons behind why you're doing a particular task. The classroom instruction is always free tuition. It's no cost to any apprentice that joins an apprenticeship program. However, there may be some small fees for maybe labs or books, but in a lot of cases, the program or the employer will cover those costs for you. Training is conducted at a local training facility. So some of these programs have their own in-house training facility, or it may be at a community college or through the adult education locally. And in some cases, that the employer actually pays for that individual while they're sitting in class. And there's also a special law that's been put on the books for EDD. So if you have an extended period of classroom training, like a week or greater, EDD will pay you unemployment benefits for that period of time you're actually in the classroom. So you really still continue to have an income during the classroom instruction. Next slide. On-the-job training. Okay, and on-the-job training, there's actually an established work processes. So those work processes basically lay out all of the skills you need to acquire in order to become a journey person within that particular occupation or that skill level. These are all formalized tasks, and you have to spend a certain amount of hours in each of these work processes in order to become fully proficient. You're overseen by some supervision or a supervisor or a journey person that assists you and helps direct your work during that time period. And the nice thing about this thing, the OJT, it's all paid. I mean, apprenticeship really is a job with training attached to provide you a skill within an occupation. And it's good too is that the OJT, or on-the-job training, also comes with step increases in your pay. So as your skills and knowledge increase, so does your pay. And that's usually anywhere between 6 months or a certain amount of hours on the job to, as far as some programs, maybe even a year. But at least you know, as your skills increase, you're going to get a pay increase while you're in the program. And the really cool thing about this is that apprenticeship in California is that while you're in an apprenticeship program, any veterans benefits that you have coming to you can be applied to apprenticeship program. So you'll be paid your basic allowance for housing while you're in the apprenticeship program. So you'll get paid from VA for your BAH, and also you'll get paid from your employer. In some cases, you'll actually be making more than a journey person when you first start your job. But one of the things that'll happen as I said, this program in your OJT has step increases. So as your pay starts to go up, your benefits, VA benefits, every 6 months will be decreased by 20%. It'll stay at 20% reduction until you reach 20% of the total BHA that you're entitled to, until you graduate the apprenticeship program. Every veteran I've talked to thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and I believe it is too. I wish I knew that this was available when I first got out, because I'd probably be doing something a little bit different today. But I still love my job. Next slide. Okay, so why is this so great? Well, there's benefits for everybody. So the first thing is that as an apprentice, you're earning while you're learning a particular craft or trade. You receive regular pay increases. It's a formalized on-the-job training program and overseen by a supervisor. And then you're also learning long-term life skills. Even if you don't stay in that particular occupation or craft, you at least can always have that as a fallback. And then you also receive your benefits, VA benefits, while you're in the apprenticeship program. For an employer, studies have shown that employee loyalty is really high, which means retention for that employer is also very high. Increased productivity as the skills increase, gradual pay increases instead of having to pay journeyman wages at the very beginning. And then also it helps the employer, because a lot of the employers are able to take employees that are internal, as I said, a closed program, and find those individuals that have the right skill or potential for skill sets, and then put them through an apprenticeship program to increase their skill and knowledge. Gives them a flexible work force, and it's a very proven system of training for every employer. Next slide. So some of the key points to remember about apprenticeship is that, first off, military careers are just like apprenticeships. You began your career with a basic knowledge, and then over your career, you advanced in your education and then your skills, and then you advanced in your rank and income. It's the exact same thing. The military is the biggest apprenticeship program that was ever developed. And then nice thing too is, as soon as you start your apprenticeship program, you start earning an income. There's no going to school for 4 years and then hoping to get a job within that field, and then hoping to, get some money in your pocket. So apprenticeship pays right up the beginning. Also, we've learned too is that over time, a lot of individuals, after they've started their apprenticeship program and working in their apprenticeship program for a while, that they actually go back to school and finish up any other degrees, a lot of times in engineering or project management. So you're not pigeon-toed into that particular position that you're working in, you can expand your career. And a lot of times I see also some in the apprentices may start in one occupation, but as they learn more and more about other occupations, they actually move from that occupation to a new occupation. So a good example would be you start out as a laborer, and laborers start out as much as $36 an hour plus benefits. And after some time within a laborer's program, they see that, hey, you know, operating equipment over there looks to be like a pretty good job. So you know what? They quit the laborer's apprenticeship program and then join the operating engineer's apprenticeship program to operate equipment on the job. Now, it's the same with a lot of the other programs, IT, healthcare. Even in healthcare, you may start out as a CNA, certified nursing assistant, but then the educational piece can bring you to an LVN, and then from an LVN to an RN. So again, there's so many things out there that how you can progress in this whole thing. Next slide. So how do you get started? How do you look for the programs that are open to everybody? So there's a website. You go to www.dir.ca.gov/DAS. And then you click on Become an Apprentice tab, find the available apprenticeship programs link, and then you can search those programs by county and or occupation. So what does that look like? Let's take a look. So next slide. Okay, so when you come onto our website, this is what it'll look like. Next slide. Up at the top, you'll see Apprenticeship, and you'll click on that. Then under Apprenticeship, it says Become an Apprentice, and then click on that link. And then there's a little blurb, how to become an apprentice. It gives you a little blurb there, a little paragraph. And then it says Become an Apprentice, and so find available apprenticeship programs. And you click there. I'll back up one real quick. All right, look under the, just below that, you see resources for veterans, women, and youth. You can also click on those, and it gives you some additional information about what I just talked about, the VA's program for veterans. And also there's some other incentives for women for these programs. Next slide. All right, so then you get to that, it says search for available programs. Again, as I said, you can search by county and or occupations. Just note though, if you're going to search by counties, you may find programs that if you lived in, let's say, the Sacramento County, and you find a program that is actually in the, I don't know, let's say Tracy or San Francisco, that may be just where the program operations run out of, and that's where the training school may be located, which would mean that you would have to go to that location periodically for the required RSI or the required training. But that's not where you're going to be at all the time, because your employer may have a job located in a different area or different areas, especially in construction. Anything in construction, you have to be willing and ready and able to move wherever the jobs are at. So today you might be working in Sacramento, tomorrow you might be working down in Stockton or Modesto, and then the following day you might be working in San Francisco, and then they might have a big job down in Bakersfield for a couple of months. So you need to be able to make that transition and travel wherever the jobs are at, especially if you want to stay employed. Next slide. Okay, so here I pulled up Sacramento, and I'm looking at surveyors. So what does my search come up with? Next slide. So here it shows me a couple of programs within that cover the Sacramento region, and of the surveyors, instrument man. That's a pretty cool job. Done it once before when I was in high school. So let's see what it would take. So there's Northern California, Surveyors Joint Apprenticeship Committee. And I'm going to click on that. Next slide. And then it pulls up. It says, here you go, for instrument men. It's 24-month long program. The starting wage is dependent upon the contract area. Since this is a public works position usually, then it's guided by state law under public works. And as I said before, a lot of the times these things are very, very well paying. I don't remember what the exact wage for this was as starting out as an apprentice, but I believe it was around $22, $24 an hour, just starting out with no experience. By the end of the program, you'll be earning about $36 to $38 an hour, plus benefits. And then minimums, age 18, educational requirements, none. Most of these programs, though, do require a high school or GED certification. So additional prerequisites here that just says you got to have a valid California driver's license. Is there any physical requirements? No, but again, you have to take a look and understand what each of these jobs are to understand, can you physically do these jobs? Then is there a written exam? Yes. Is there an oral exam? No. So in jobs like this, one of the things you need, again, you think about is, will you, this type of an exam, since it's an instrument man and you're doing surveys, your math skills probably need to be pretty good. So I would suggest whenever there's some type of an exam that you brush up on any of those areas that you feel were going to be part of that test. Because remember, a lot of these exams are by who, the listings are by who scores the best on any of the exams. So it's registered with them. Contact for this information or for this program is the Northern California Surveyors Joint Apprenticeship Committee. They give you a website there, and then it says Alameda. Again, this is where you would most likely go for training. Next slide. So from that, it gives you a contact person, which is Lewis Blackwell, and then a phone number, and then applications are continuously, and then the list is ranked. Again, this is where that exam comes in. So how well you're ranked or how high up on the list you're ranked is by how well you do that written exam. And then veterans benefits. This program offers them. So again, you can apply for it and get them. Next slide. Okay, so your support networks here, and as Cole was saying earlier, or Sean, I mean, that there are so many programs out there to assist you with trying to get you the skills and knowledge you need in order to secure a good living wage. So CalVet and the CalTAP program, the American Job Centers of California, as he said, the AJCCs. You have your county veteran service officers. There's also a program, Helmets to Hard Hats. Great program. Work for Warriors. Then there's Women's Veterans Alliance. There's also the Volunteers of America. And then all of the community colleges all have vet centers also that are there to assist. Again, there's so many other programs out there. This is just a short list. And a lot of these programs that to assist you on getting your foot in the door with some of these programs, that if it's a union program, you go to EDD or the American Job Centers of California, they actually will pick up the tab to help supply you with the basic needed items such as clothing, footwear, and such to get on the job, any tools you might need. In addition to that, they may pay any union dues that you have to front in order to get into the union. So again, make sure you use all of your resources out there. Next slide. So this is me again, Charles Richards, a senior apprenticeship consultant and work for the Division of Apprenticeship Standards. And we're located, or I'm located here in Sacramento, but we have offices all throughout the state of California. And then my direct number on cell number there. And then also my email address. If you got a quick question, don't hesitate to shoot me an email and I'll try to assist you the best as possible. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Richards. It's a lot of great information. I was looking at your list and I saw that Dignity Health had an EMT program. I worked as EMT for a long time. I thought that was kind of cool that that's one of the apprenticeships that's out there.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's one of those great programs that are hidden that unless you work for Dignity Health in that particular one. But again, that's one of those courses of action that you can go talk to them and find out what type of openings they have, because they might not be to fill everything internally.
So I'm going to ask my my teammate Derek if there's any questions that we can answer for the group right now. Hello, Derek.
Hey, Sean. Great presentation, everyone. Thanks a lot. There was a few questions that came in, but Cole has actually been on top of it and answered those questions appropriately. So as of right now, there are no live questions. So thanks again, everyone.
Hey, Sean, can we read out the questions just in case somebody's viewing this later on the YouTube and they can't see the questions?
Sure, that's an excellent idea. Derek, can you read out the questions for us? Let's give Derek a second there to.
Sorry, everyone, I was on mute. The first question that came in was, what is the website that's being referenced to see available and open apprenticeship programs? And Cole responded through the Department of Industrial Relations with the link, looks like apprenticeships.gov. So if there's any piggyback off of that answer, now would be a good time to relay that. Another question is this only for the veteran or can this be for spouses as well? And Cole responded that GI Bill benefits for apprenticeships if a veteran has transferred their GI Bill benefits to their spouse, or if the spouse is eligible through Chapter 35 of the GI Bill due to a service-connected disability. So it sounds like as long as that benefit has been transferred, then they'd be able to use their eligibility for apprenticeship programs. And then just one last question was in relation to following up with the slide deck. If you would like to receive a copy of today's presentation, feel free to send us an email at our CalTAP email address, and then we can follow up with you directly for a copy of the presentation. And then one last question was, do you still receive BAH benefits if you already use your GI Bill and VOC rehab? And then Cole responded, there's a 48th month cap on the GI Bill usage. So if you've exhausted GI Bill benefits, then unfortunately you're no longer eligible to receive BAH through the GI Bill. So those are the questions as they were written and answered. So hopefully that provides some clarity for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. I want to make sure to give everybody a chance to check out the link for our survey. And as I said before, we really do appreciate you taking that extra moment to fill out these surveys because they help us to engineer webinars to meet your wants and your needs and your goals. Some of the upcoming webinars that you're going to see on our list are federal employment tips on the 24th, legal services on the 26th. We have an Operation Dress Code coming up on the 11th of June, healthcare for elder veterans towards June 14th. And we've got a great presentation on presumptive conditions on the 21st of June. I would like to take a moment to thank everybody for attending the webinar today, and absolutely thank you to everyone for your service. I'm going to flip back to our slide that has all of the contact information. So that way, if you need an extra moment to write down the contact information for Cole or for Mr. Richards or for Derek or myself, we're happy to be that information resource for you and get you whatever questions you have answered. We're going to leave this up for a few minutes. I have that it's 10:39, so we have finished about 20 minutes early. So I will leave this up for about 5 minutes, and then we'll end the webinar a little bit early. We'll end it at 10:45 and give you 15 minutes back. That'll also give you a couple more minutes to field any more questions that may be out there.
Hey, Sean, it looks like we're getting a few questions over in the chat box that hopefully we're going to get them transferred over into the Q&A box so that we can keep track of the answers better. Folks, if you have questions, please use the Q&A button. It's right next to the chat button because the answers to the Q&A are easier to track. They pair the answers with the questions. So it looks like we got a couple of more questions coming in here, Sean.
Thank you for letting me know.
So I'll answer this one that's on the top here, kind of slightly off topic, but related to veteran benefits for CalVet home loans and VA home loans. You mentioned you can combine them. You can combine them. We're a certified VA home loan lender, so you can get a VA home loan through CalVet. And so I won't go too much in detail here. What I'll do is I will put the link for our home loans website in here, and then I will also put the contact information for our home loans outreach specialist, Brad Pedersen, who's a great resource for home loan questions. I'll put that in the Q&A box as well here.
Another question that came in was in relation to the age criteria. The question is there an age limit, and does the VA have the same type of apprenticeship programs?
Well, to answer the age limits is that no, there is no age limit for any of the apprenticeship programs.
Thank you for answering that, Charles. And another question that came in is in relation to the recording of this webinar. So later today, this will be archived on our website, and it'll be posted. I'm not sure the exact time frame that it's archived on our website. I think it's permanent. So we'll get that posted as soon as possible and include it in our whole archive series of webinars. And we did put the link in the chat box to access not only this webinar, but all of our webinars that we've recorded and posted. So we'll be sure to get that up shortly.
Thank you, Derek.
Sean,
And
I
I'll
think
flip
that
back
looks like
over.
all the questions that were in the chat got pulled into the Q&A. And so I think unless folks are still submitting questions to the Q&A, I think that's it for the questions.
Okay. I will put up our survey one more time. And again, I would really do want to take a moment to thank everybody for joining us today. And thank you for your service as well. That's heartfelt and I truly mean it. All these resources that you have that are out here to help you, use them. Use our contact information, get a hold of us, ask questions, and just know that there's people out here to help you on your journey. And good luck with your apprenticeships. We're going to end this webinar now, and I'd like to thank everybody and wish you all a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.